Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for kickoffs and kick-ons.
Count me in, Sweeble. We are primed. We are ready to go for it.
Let's go from 3.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1, profit!
Yes, Sweeble, g'day and welcome to Kick-Offs and Kick-Ons. Yes, the KOKO Show proudly brought to you by Maya, a show about life, love, and the eternal struggle of getting a ball across a line. Hello, International Rugby. Hello, the Spring Autumn Tours. Hello, 23 men getting dirty with 23 men internationally. What a time to be alive. It is week 0 of the November internationals, and we had 2 epic clashes for 2 different reasons. A tussle of gigantic proportions at Twickenham, where the All Blacks made it 3 from 3 against the English in 2024. The Kiwis getting it done by, as Smithy says, the beerest of margins. English coach Steve Borthwick, he agreed. He said the difference was the width of a goalpost, which, what is it?
Give or take.
Was it 3 inches or?
Yep. By that, the height, yeah, probably 3 because it gets.
I looked it up. You can't find anywhere what the width at Twickenham of a goalpost is.
Yeah, right.
Tweet us. Also, Murrayfield in week 0 of the November internationals, an 8 tries to 3 Scottish victory over Fiji. Entertained a full house of very happy Scottish fans as they smashed their bovrils and devoured their Scotch pies. 'Twas Scotland's biggest victory over the Bullavanuckers, and more of that in the pod. Gents, it is week 1 now of the internationals. So on today's show, also in the pod, we will be previewing deep, dark, and full of treasures. Wallabies v England, Ireland v New Zealand, Italy v Argentina, France v Japan, Wales v Fiji, Scotland v South Africa, Portugal v USA, Hong Kong, China v Brazil, Canada v Chile, Kenya v Uganda, Ukraine v Slovakia, Romania v Tonga, and Spain v Uruguay. We'll be getting into all of that.
Really?
Yeah.
I hope you've, did you?
It's an interesting week, isn't
It
it?
is.
Yeah. Wow. That's a preview.
Do you remember which games you had, Swoop? Because I need you to
Yeah,
get.
the last
I think it
4,
was Hong
I'm
Kong.
sure.
Were you the last
China.
4?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, we'll get into it. Don't worry about it. Extensive previews. Make sure you tune in for all of that. Before we do, enough from me. Let's give you your 3 Wallabies while you're tuning in. Theme, gents. Can anybody guess it?
International.
Oh, welcome back. Or
Yeah, it pretty much was, yeah. Internationals, yeah. It's the teams Australia will be taking on
Oh, okay.
on their spring/autumn tour.
Mm.
Anybody want to take a guess as to which country they are?
Oh, I'm going to sit on it for a minute.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin your intros.
You, Swoop?
I reckon.
I think you're an easy one.
Really?
yeah.
Let's start with our Wales. This man loves to sing and is definitely a sex bomb. He is also sick of people doing jokes about him having sex with sheep. And he's also a man who definitely has way less money than his neighbours. It's Drew Mitchell.
What's the sex and the sheep?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just tossed that up.
Oh, you remember that one time.
That's what they say, though. You're with one sheep. And then...
If you don't tell anyone, it's one of those hypotheticals.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
I was
Would you
actually
rather?
talking to Mum and Dad about that hypothetical last
yeah?
week.
Oh, yeah, my brothers hit me up about it. Mum and Dad weren't in the conversation.
Yeah,
What did Mum say about it?
I just said nothing personal, Mum. Like, it's just... we just weren't doing it.
Business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dad got it.
Did she, just so we reset for people who are just tuning in for the first time, the would you rather was, would you rather that you don't have sex with your mum but everybody thinks you have?
Yep.
In your family, yeah.
Or you have sex with your mum and nobody knows?
Yes.
And Ronnie wasn't filthy? Like, I mean, like,
No,
he's
no.
thinking, like, geez, good enough for me, it's good enough for my boy.
Yeah, no, I don't know if he was thinking that. I think he's pretty happy with the answer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, good on him.
Yeah, fair call. Scotland, our Scotland. First and foremost, this is a man who has a genuine dispassion for England. He loves living somewhere where it's fucking cold, and he's a man whose greatest fear is parting ways with his hard-earned. It's Mr. Matt Giddo.
Are the Scottish tight, are
I would never say that.
they? Because your wife's Scottish.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and actually her parents are here at the moment.
Okay.
So I would...
Yeah, I don't reckon they're tuning in.
No, you never know.
Okay.
You never know. And finally, our island. This man is drunk all the time and is always at war with himself, Mr. Adam Ashley Cooper.
Fucking hell.
Mate, I didn't... Yeah.
No one's England.
I'm Bristol. because obviously we played Bristol at one point. I didn't want to be fucking England, so I had a look
chose
through.
And you got a good set of Bristols.
I do love the Bristol cities. Right. Oh, we love England, though. We're about to head there. We need to say that. We do love England.
Yeah, but we
I
love,
actually do.
Like, I love
I love
England,
England,
but I
I was
love
just saying.
competing against them. I like beating them in every sport possible.
Absolutely. Now, I've got written here what I've been up to, but I think we need to talk about what just took place in this room.
Yeah.
Thanks to Budgy Smuggler.
Yeah.
You guys were modelling for...
That's a loose term.
you were standing
In front of
there
the
was a
camera.
Yeah.
Swoop, how do you feel about the whole...
I was a little uncomfortable, to be honest.
Would you say you didn't have enough prep?
Yeah, I probably need about 12 months prep. Full-time prep. But, yeah, look, it's the first time I've got my kid off since I've retired. But, yeah, look, stay tuned on Oversized plus Budgy Smuggler models.
It was brave. I want to say that. Can I use that word?
Yeah, it was one of those things where you get really comfortable because we're in the room with people that we're comfortable with. And then you have this sort of little light bulb moment going, shit, this is actually going to be projected to all and sundry.
And did you approve everything, Swoop?
Well, I will once they kind of
We're
touch
waiting
it
on
all
them
up.
sending it through.
Yeah. Now, was there anything else I needed to say there, Ol? Terrific. Hey, we are getting straight into the rugby this week. We are not messing around because there was some really big games involving, as we like to say, the big dogs. Let's do the Rugby Roundup segment, which this week we are slashing with Northern Hemisphere legends. That's right.
Yeah.
2 segments for the price of 1.
Wow.
Where do you think we'll start, Drew? You know your rugby.
I think we should start with Fiji and Scotland.
Oh, okay. Then page 4.
You know,
We can-
to a crescendo.
Did you want to build up?
Yeah, I feel like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, hold on a sec. Bloody hell.
That's all right.
I mean,
take it from here. What did you think of the game, Drew?
I thought Scotland were pretty dominant, Matt. Look, they've got some... Was it Darcy Graham on the edge? And then Duhan van der Merwe, very different players, but equally fucking very dangerous. I thought Tuipulotu, his first game as skipper as well, he was impressive. He's just gone... I don't know, he's got to be the starting 12 surely for the Lions next year, you would think, wouldn't you? I mean, Bundy Arki maybe, but Tuipulotu, he's putting his hand up.
How old is...
Not sure. I think he'd be sort of 27 or so.
Prime.
That's having an absolute swing.
Can
He's
we
27.
look it
There
up,
we go.
guys, while we're...
Just got the thumbs up.
Wow,
Jeez.
very good.
Let's go straight to the quiz.
We do have a quiz. We'll do that a little later in the show. Let me give you this: 8 tries to 3.
Yep.
It was a demolition.
Yep.
But obviously the Fijians were lacking their European players.
Yeah, so you out of the World Cup window, this Test match was played. So any of their international players that have got a contract overseas, they couldn't play. So it was a weakened Fijian team, but I still think Scotland did what they had to do and looked impressive.
Absolutely. A couple of outstanding tries I wanted to bring up. One that got discussed here was the Hastings behind the back pass, which resulted in the Van der Merwe try. I'm saying fair play on. Look, highlight reel, Magic Johnson, bring it on. You're saying...
When I first saw it, I thought it came forward out of their hands. I know it's controversial. People will be upset, but...
Well, it wasn't... I reckon we just celebrate that it was a fantastic try because it wasn't the difference between a win or a loss. So,
No, absolutely.
but yeah, you were coming in hot. You're saying that shouldn't have been allowed.
Yeah,
or the
disgraceful.
disgrace.
Take to
Kick him
Twitter
out of the
again,
comp.
I didn't get to Twitter, but I was backed up by Matt. Matt said it was definitely forward out of their hand.
It was only because you were arguing with Prof, and I always go on your side.
No, but you do that. But I was also saying it's, think of the betterment of the game. I said-
Yeah, we both said that.
We did say that.
Also, that crossfield kick.
Oh, yeah, it's a quick tap.
Absolutely, Graham. That was amazing. And then it was a shin forward. Is that what you would have called it?
Yeah, like a...
A shin on.
How far up the leg is it still a kick? Is there a...
I'd
if I
say
hit
up
the
until
top
the femur,
here...
yeah. Top of the femur.
Top of the femur?
Well, it's-
Swoop, you are very quiet here. I reckon you didn't see
I'm
Scotland
quiet for a
versus
reason because I didn't
Fiji.
watch it. Yeah. Mate, I was off grid. I was down on a farm in Mittagong. But you wouldn't know because you didn't ask me how my weekend was. But
No.
anyway,
Well, no,
we just jumped straight into the rugby.
So what did you do down at the farm? Did you do anything?
Two of the kids, it was a bit of a farm stay. Just, got away, got out of the city, just get back to breathe a bit of fresh air, see the
stars,
see
yeah.
the stars. All that was overcast. I didn't see any of them. But tell you what, the full pyro behaviour came back into play.
Yeah, you love a fire,
Oh,
don't
I
you?
love a fire. I can light a fire.
Yeah, you can.
Were you doing inside, outside? What sort of fires were you doing?
Yeah, both of them.
Can you start them with 2 sticks?
Yep.
Gee.
I didn't do it on the weekend, but I backed myself.
Is that fair dinkum you can?
100%.
Hey, we're doing it in here, Hugo. Turn off the Is there a smoke alarm or
A
something?
couple of twigs.
It doesn't work, does it? No.
Anyway, it was a really good
57
weekend. Yeah,
Oh, sorry, mate.
Yeah, down
No,
there
you
in
go.
Mittagong. I think it was Leicester Park. It's called this little cottage. It's probably lovely. Beautiful down there. Hey, I tell you what, I met a foal that was only a couple of hours old. Geez, they come out big.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
What about the pain?
But did you,
that'll
like, you weren't
hurt.
just
Oh,
walking
she was
past and
screaming.
you jumped over a fence and
And what do you mean you met him? Did you
Yeah.
like shake hooves or something? Or?
Yeah. Sit, shake.
What
They do it all.
How long does it take before the foal walks?
I think they're
Mate,
missing,
they
aren't
get up
They
straight
do
up.
straight
Straight
up.
away.
Yeah. They
Like
kind
5
of
seconds, 10
they
seconds.
hit the
Ah,
deck,
like
yeah.
that.
You're
They hit the
kidding.
ground, they bounce.
Gee,
they're up.
Bambi sold us a bit of a dummy, didn't they?
Did Bambi take a what?
She's
She's
pretty
obviously not
ordinary
a
on the
horse,
ice.
though. She's
On the ice. That's
Yeah.
different.
She
But
didn't
remember,
want
she couldn't
She didn't
gather her
want
feet.
Yeah.
Didn't want enough. But yeah, mate, this thing it was awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Fiji.
the chicken
Hey,
coop
you
was
know-
a real hit too. The kids
Oh, yeah,
running
kids
around
love
with
a chicken
couple of
coop.
Mate, kids love all that stuff. They love it.
I reckon you stumbled across something here, right? While we're discussing.
Well, I've got to tell you.
Okay, there you go.
90 minutes back up the M5, back to Bondi. Jumped on REA, had a couple of look at farms. They're actually going for pretty decent prices down there.
Oh, they would. Yeah.
What's
I'm quiet
happening
on a
here, mate?
couple,
You're going to
yeah.
become a farmer.
Oh, well, you can do anything with a Cooper on, mate.
Yeah. You know you don't get more hours when you go on a farm. Like, it's still the same hours in a day.
Slows down, though, doesn't it?
It's like, mate, she's long down there.
How is the 10-pin bowling career going, though?
What are you saying, mate?
I'm saying it's one hell of a shirt.
It is, isn't it?
I love it. We'll get into it later. Territory, 57 to 43% to Fiji.
Yeah.
So they, I mean, as much as this was a younger side that was basically the draw, they had their moments. As in, yes, it was 8-3 and the Scottish team dominated, but the Fijian side showed absolute promise.
They always do, though. I
Yeah.
reckon. When you watch them play, there's just one moment where potentially they may have lost that test, but they still always have flashes of brilliance in them. You only need to go to the country and see the kids playing
Yeah.
touch at lunchtime that they're phenomenal athletes.
Yeah, and you put those 7 or 8 players that they'll get in the next few tests, and it's completely different. Well, not a completely different side, but it just gives them that experience. So in those crucial moments, they come up with better decisions and put them in. Well, I mean, they were in the right areas quite more than Scotland were, but to what to do with the ball in those areas and really capitalise on the opportunities they're making. But I mean, they're a good side. I mean, they're above us, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And I think also with Scotland, I reckon I underestimated them a bit. Like, they're going to be...
Yeah, they're a
They're
problem.
good side.
Yeah, they're a
that's
problem.
our third game for the
Yeah.
Wallabies.
Yeah.
Is that a real...
Oh, we'll still shit it in, but it'll be tighter than I thought.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Hastings obviously filled in for Finn Russell,
Yeah.
who couldn't because he's not a Scotland-based domestic player.
Well, yeah,
It's
so
the same
Racing,
sort of window.
he's not at Racing. Where is he now?
Bath.
Bath,
Yeah.
yeah, he's
Sorry,
Bath,
yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, he can't.
All right, very good.
Cut that fucking
Good game
thing
of
out.
international. Sorry, mate, you...
No, just saying, cut that fucking thing out.
Mate, it's okay. You can get things wrong.
God. Hugo said he's going to beat that. Very good game. Let's get to the other international for week 0, as we're calling it. England went down to New Zealand 22-24. I guess the statement from everybody is it was England's to win. They were up 22-14 with not long left on the clock, maybe 6 minutes left on the clock. What happened there? Why are they not... who would like to go here? Why are they not basically getting across the line?
I mean, I think it's also New Zealand
Yeah.
play super well in those closing periods. It's almost like they train that area of the game. D-Mac came on. He made a difference, which, I thought he probably doesn't want to be a bench player, but I think impact-wise he has
Yeah.
a bigger impact on the team coming off the pine than he does starting, is just my opinion. But yeah, I just thought New Zealand lifted the intensity. Defensively, they were very good. And then with the ball, they took their opportunities. And then a great kick at the death from D-Mac with still, I think, 3 minutes to go. England still had an opportunity to close it out.
2, yeah, with the penalty kick and the field goal.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they take someone like Marcus Smith, who's having a great game, take him off. It's almost like professional footy now, because you've got 8 substitutions to make. they feel the need to make 8. Like, players can still play out 80 minutes. Like, unless he's fatigued or he's having a bad game, then why wouldn't you keep the guy that's steering your team around and got you into a 22-14 lead?
Yeah, and he was
Why wouldn't you
kicking
keep them
well,
on, right? Like, we wouldn't be saying this if George Ford came on and brained it, but, there were, that missed tackle for Talia's try, the missed kick. Yeah, but you don't go up high on Talia. You've got to go low, and especially George Ford against a bigger guy. Like, he's got to try and chop him, surely.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fair beast, 5 out.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, but then you're
I'm-
looking at it, like, collectively, and then the missed field goal, the missed penalty, like, who knows if it would have been different if Marcus Smith was out there, but if he's playing well, then why take him off for the sake of it?
Historically, though, George Ford would come on and he's great in those. He's a bit of an iceman. He dropped goals. He's very good at those. I thought his penalty kick, he hit well. As,
Prof.
The Borthwick, he said, the width of the goalpost was the difference, but it was more the drop kick for me that seemed strange. Like, didn't seem to get a clean catch, even when he was going to drop it to kick. It still didn't seem like he had the ball how he wanted it, and then he's obviously rushed it and sprayed to the side.
Have you ever iced one? Have you ever had 80,000 people there and you've got to kick a field goal to win a game? Have you ever felt that pressure, kids?
It's probably not something that I ever thought of in a game scenario. Even if we were behind by a close amount, my instinct would be to play and try and score a try or get a penalty and then kick. It just wasn't something naturally that I thought about, just because of the way that I came through and the 10s that I was playing with. But once I got to France and you're playing with Johnny Wilkinson, who just would do it,
yeah, just sits back in the pocket. Yeah.
Effortlessly, as a 12, I'd be saying, I'd set up flat and I'd say, yeah, drop kick. And then the 9 would pass it to Johnny and he'd nail it. But it wasn't really something that, I don't know.
I guess it's just different. Like, when we're growing up here, we're playing sort of running rugby. You're always about tacking and scoring tries. Whereas you look at, and therefore we probably haven't had any notable great exponents of the field goal. I mean, Stephen Larkham's, he's known for that one that he got in the World Cup in '99, but to his own admission, it's not something that he's done very often.
We actually tried to just kick that dead.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he did that, but he just got it through the post. But but whereas you look further north, maybe because of the conditions they play or whatever it might be, but they're just sort of, I don't know, maybe just conditioned to doing it more often. Therefore, they're better at it, and it's just part of their psyche and their mindset when they're playing.
Well, it's funny, they were setting up for it straight away. So rather than going and for the penalty, as you said, just phase after phase, is George Ford known for that, for icing that?
Well, in the World Cup against in Argentina, he knocked 9 or 10 field goals over. So it's something that I think he does do. But yeah, I don't know. With the ball in hand, they had good carriers there. It seemed like they were carrying just to set up for the drop, which doesn't really attract anyone. Just puts more pressure on the kicker.
Yeah. Because everyone knows it's coming, right?
Yeah.
Well, you want to say something, Swoop?
No, I'm just letting you boys go at it. But yeah.
Well, what did you think about their shape, the forward shape? I thought that was
I like how they kind
nice improvement.
Yeah, that little second wave stuff too, out the back, and then using little short runners off Marcus. I thought that got them a lot of pay with a lot of engagement at the line. Mate, they can attack.
Yeah, I agree.
The English, like they're very good. I agree with Drew. I don't know why you take Marcus Smith off, but for me, I don't know. Would they be happy with that win, or they'd probably be a little disappointed? There were a lot of the All Blacks. There were a couple of skill errors, but also patches of just like vintage All Blacks rugby. I think Satiti is well and truly arrived on the rugby scene. Like, he had an absolute belter. Kind of has got a bit of Jerome Kano about him. Like, he's a big figure, he can carry, get over the advantage line, got a little backdoor offload action.
Yeah, it's like a footy player, yeah.
It feels like every game he plays, he's
building 6.
He's a great 6 to have.
Oh,
the All Blacks though, at the end of that game, when they missed the field goal, I've never seen them really celebrate a win, coaches included, as
much as they did.
Yeah, just the way that they celebrated. It seems like they're under a lot of pressure, I reckon, back home.
Well, it's also no mean feat, right? They beat England now 3 times this year. Also go to Twickenham first game. I mean, I know they played Japan on the way over, but it's a completely different team. So, first game on the UK tour, away at Twickenham, like, it's a pretty significant win for them.
Yeah, and then they go into Ireland and France, right?
Yeah.
So, to get that first one under your belt, I guess is a big thing for them.
It just changes your week going into the next game against Ireland, like coming off a win at Twickenham compared to like losing and then even more pressure that they would have got had they lost that game.
Bit of noise around the game. Obviously, the game was amazing, but surrounding the HAKA.
Yeah.
And we all saw the HAKA pre-match. The England, what would you call it? They stepped up to the HAKA?
Yeah, well, they just accepted the challenge and then,
and a lot of that surrounded Joe Marler's tweet, which, he was basically calling for the HAKA to be binned. Joe Marler, friend of the pod. What's Joe doing there? Is he just stirring a bit of shit? Just trying to...
Who knows? I think maybe he, from just reading what he said, I think he shot it off but didn't articulate himself overly well. My point of view, when I first saw it, I said, well, that's ridiculous, his comment, because the first time that I played New Zealand, I couldn't wait to face and see the HAKA. And for it to get binned for these young kids, even my kids that they don't like rugby at all, but they'll come and watch the HAKA and then they'll go play or do something else. So it's one of the very few traditions that we've still got left in this game, and I think it's amazing.
I think it then further progressed to you should be allowed to respond to the HAKA however you guys see fit, right? So like by advancing, then there was also a quote about the fact that you're not allowed to is so that the broadcasters can get that visual right in front of the New Zealand team doing the HAKA. That's why teams can't advance, because it spoils the opportunity to get the broadcast shot. I mean, there's so many cameras these days, they can get a shot, right? Like, and how good would a shot be if the camera's there and then all of a sudden they get passed by all the players going past them? Like, that would even be a more sort of emotional, impactful shot. But I agree. I think you should be able to respond however you see fit, so long as it's respectful and there's no, obviously, we don't want to see any red cards before the game.
No.
But I just think as well, it was just a weird kind of chain of events going into it. There was Joe Marler's tweet, then he left England camp for personal reasons, and then he's went back into camp and now he's retired. I don't know. I just think maybe he was just sort of maybe going through a bit, just sort of wrestling with the whole retirement, and I don't know. I mean,
well, you can call us. Well, whenever you want to get on, Joe.
Yeah.
We'll have a chat about it.
But you know what was nice was the footage of him seeing Scott Robertson before the game, and they had shook hands, and he was you could see that he was explaining himself, and they hugged it out and had a good moment. So it's it's one of those things in rugby again.
That's why I like a voice note. I tell you boys that I like a voice note, like with WhatsApp, because you know my tone, you know what I'm at. Whereas if I just text it, you'd be like,
Interpret,
yeah, you know what I mean.
Interpretation.
Did you see it was in the, and apologies for bringing this up, but in the Rugby League, the England v Samoa, the Civi Tower.
Yeah.
I hope I've got that right. And the two, it's
face to face,
face to face, and they were headbutting. Would you like to see that with the HAKA? That say 15 blokes just headbutting 15
Well, let's
blokes.
not say headbutting. Like,
there
were two stags.
Yeah, a couple of stags.
Yeah, a couple of stags.
Face
head to head.
wrestling.
But then as soon as that part cuts, it's not going to go any further, because then they shake hands.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'll see you in the game.
There's
So I
respect
think,
there, yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's respectful, like Drew said. I think,
I'm with you. This whole idea that they can't advance past the halfway, I think they should be able to select the player and then go up and just rub heads with them for the entire HAKA.
Stag off.
Yeah.
Now, I know he's listening, our special guest at the moment. Now, Will, if you can hear me, we do have quite the wordsmith here, Tom Erskine, and he spends most of his time writing these intros. I'm going to run with it. In the event you don't like it, it's his fault. All right, here we go. This week on the KOKO Show, we have a very special guest. Like my nan always used to say, the best things come in small packages. So please welcome this pint-sized prince of Australian rugby who has played over 100 Super Rugby games, as well as breaking the ton for the mighty Wallabies on the international stage. Famed more for his delicious service from the base of the ruck, his competitive nature, punching above his weight, and ripping Rod Kay for a new starfish in a post-match press conference as captain. This little lovable live wire when he isn't pounding a Pepsi, benching double his body weight, or getting chased down by Gits in a trial with 20 metres head start.
Oh.
This bloke is getting back to the roots and helping out the people of PNG through the creation of his foundation. So please put your hands together for this philanthropic fucking legend, the Port Moresby powerhouse, and the most handsome hunk in Hanazono. It is, of course, Wallaby number 835, Mr. Sanchez William Genia.
Yeah, Midge.
Yeah, Midge.
What's going on, lads? What's going on?
Welcome,
Not much.
William. You
Mate,
go.
I
Smooth.
wouldn't mind talking about, what was that 20-metre head start thing that you said in the intro?
Do you know what it sounds a lot like? It sounds like you rang Tom and said, when you do his intro,
I
can you
wouldn't.
pop this in? Is that what happened?
Midge, I wouldn't do that, but I don't know what you're
It
talking
sounds a
about.
lot like you wrote it, Gits. Sounds a lot like you wrote it.
Mate, I've played in a lot of trials. I just don't really remember that one. So
What happens? Let's hear it, Kits.
I don't remember, mate. What happened, Willie? Do you know what happened?
Oh, I think I made some sort of line break and you ran me down. I was. You remind me of that all the time every time I see you.
Really? I don't remember it.
But I'll tell you one thing. I'm actually genuinely nervous about being on the show today because usually when I'm around you three blokes, it's a little bit how you going, a little bit of workplace bullying.
No, there's none of that.
Bullying from when I remember when I first seen you blokes and on a Wallaby team bus.
Did he say workplace bullying then? Is that what he said?
I think we'll beep that out.
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. Let's get into that, Willie. What sort of hazing did these boys used to do with you?
Mate, these blokes, I tell you, they were the best, but they were also the worst. Gitz was the instigator, and for some reason, when you get on the Wallaby bus, you find yourself a seat. And for some reason, I just managed to find a seat right in front of Gitz, who was, I think, at that stage, just in front of Drewy, and Swoop was somewhere nearby. So Gitz was always the type of bloke that would, sort of poke you a little bit, and then if you'd ever bite back at him, Drewy would come in over the top, and then so
the old 1-2.
The old 1, 2, 3, I think it was. So it was a tough introduction.
Mate, he was the only player in the team with a booster seat there. Like, how can you not have a crack at him? Exactly. Mate. Coming from me, I know.
Mate, I was sharing yours.
Willie, it's good because I think we should start a self-help group where you and I get together and talk about the bullying because there's a bit of a prof pile on occasionally, isn't there, boys?
Come on, Prof.
Oh, come on, Prof.
Yeah, today I was into you and I.
There's a few of us, mate. I think Lockie Turner would want to jump in on that too.
Oh,
the real
Turner. Ham and eggs off the bone.
Willie, let's start with how's Japan? You loving living in Japan?
Yeah, mate, it's going good. It's tough at the moment. Like Gitz and Swoop, you'd know pre-seasons over here go for ages, mate. So like I've been here since September, and the season doesn't start till end of December. So, mate, some of the young boys have been here since June, with no trial games and nothing going, just logging it out in the heat, mate. They love a Bronco here too. So
and things don't really change much, do they? Like Monday to Friday's pretty consistent for that whole 3 months.
Mate, real consistent. It's tough, especially when you're not playing games. Like we've only just recently started playing trial games, so a lot of the training's just been, training without the reward of playing. And mate, some of the sessions you go for like 3 hours. You're out in the field for 3 hours.
Tell us about your Bronco. Give a little flex. What'd you run?
Well, I ran 429 the other week.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Mate,
429, and it was measured correctly and all that, Mitch. Wasn't it?
Oh, they sort of they adjust the size for us little blokes. So
Mate, that's an incredible time.
Self-corrected.
Gee whiz,
I
well done.
could
You
get
must be
4
fit.
laps of the Bronco in 429.
Mate, you do get fit up in Japan. Like you're doing a Bronco every day, or
Do you?
if not, a variation of a Bronco. Whether it's a team Bronco
so we've been running one probably once every 6 weeks here, and the thing about it is when the boys get tested here, if you don't get your target, you have to come in the next day and do it, and you have to keep doing that until you get it, and then you pass, and then you can come back to training. Mate, we had a bloke here who missed 4 weeks of training because he couldn't hit a Bronco. His Bronco time.
Oh, respect.
And then
He
when
went too hard in the first one.
Well, that's what I was going to say, Midge. Are you not worried when you hit a 429 that's now your benchmark? Like, don't you just look at your watch and just pull it back for 10 seconds, just beat your goal, so then you give yourself a bit more for the next one?
Well, we've got like level 1, 2, and 3, and if you hit level 3, then you don't have to do it again. So I was lucky that I hit a good time. But mate, this bloke, he had 4 weeks out, and then we eventually came back and hit his time. His time was 6 minutes, I think it was. He hit 5:59.92. So he just made it back.
Jeez.
And he can't catch a rugby ball. He's not touched a footy in 4 weeks.
For 4 weeks, he couldn't come to training, and he had to do the Bronco basically every day, every second day until he hit his target.
Is there still summer camp up there, Willie?
Nah, mate, that's changed. We don't have summer camp up here. We just have pre-season.
What was summer camp?
Summer camp is when all the teams go up to
3 games in 8
Sapporo
days.
or Hokkaido, that area, and they jam a bunch of games into 3 or 4 days. It's tough going, but it's also done during the warmer months like August.
And it's tough sleeping. This rug, I reckon, is more comfy than...
What they got you on hard beds?
Well, yeah, the first year, and I just said, I can't play today. I said, my back's no good. And then I end up getting a proper bed.
Willie,
Pays to complain, mate.
mate. Preaching to the choir, yeah. Mate, you're saying there's a fair bit of training and the I guess the consistency of the program is pretty monotonous. What are you doing outside of footy to kind of keep a bit of that balance?
Mate, I'm real big on like getting in amongst nature. I like it. Like it's sort of, you think about Japan as being this big concrete jungle, but there's plenty of places. Like I'm lucky I got a car here, so I go out and explore a bit, get amongst like the rivers and waterfalls and things like that.
I saw that on your Insta today.
I
think. Did you got out in the water?
Yeah. So went out there yesterday, which was good. So yeah, mate, I sort of enjoy doing that sort of stuff. It keeps me balanced and keeps me still enjoying what I do.
And
Otherwise, it can be a bit much.
Yeah, you said you're lucky you got a car up there. Did I not see you just got a brand new Lexus 4-wheel drive or something?
Yeah.
That's not through luck, mate.
No, I thought I'd treat myself. Bit of hard work.
Love that.
And somebody's looking for a new Lexus on this show, obviously.
Well, I'm just looking for any kind of car. Hot Wheels or anything.
Willie, let's obviously we're about to head north from here, west for you, maybe east as well. We're following the Wallabies up for the spring tour. We wanted to chat to you quickly about the current Wallabies team, how closely you're keeping an eye on them, and how you think they'll go on this Grand Slam tour up there.
Mate, I do watch. I've actually been really impressed with the way that Joe's wanted to change the way that they play. I think a lot of the focus has been around the detail. They speak a lot about having intent and purpose around what they do, especially around the attacking breakdown. I think for a long period of time, that was probably an area that Australian rugby struggled, just that attacking breakdown. We weren't able to build continuity and play how we wanted to play because we struggled in that area. So, I really enjoyed his philosophy around how he wants to play. In terms of the spring tour, I reckon it'll be a tough trip for us. Like, if you watch England play the All Blacks, I think that's going to be a tough game for us. And like, my heart tells me that, you know, they're going to do well. But I try to obviously look at it as objectively as I can. I think I can probably only really see us having a win against Wales, and I reckon the other three teams will be tough for us. I don't see us getting up, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, right. While you're being honest, who are you playing at 9?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. Start one, bench one, drop one.
Good.
Oh, no, I was just thinking start one. The other one's going
we
to
could
bin.
do that
Well,
now.
either
with
way,
the
we might as well
nines.
just double end it.
I'm going to start with who are you starting at 9 for the whole tour and moving forward, thinking about the Lions as well. And you can't pick yourself.
Oh, mate, I wouldn't even make the cut. I like Tate McDermott. I really do. I do think that he's got a bit of work to do on his passing. I think he's a little bit inconsistent at test level. Like, you can get away with certain things at Super Rugby because it's a little bit looser and there's more room for error. But I think moving forward, I'd like to see him play because I think he just offers a bit more, particularly around the ruck. Like, Jake's really steady. Like, Jake reminds me of someone like a Conor Murray, where when Joe Schmidt was the coach of Ireland, he backed Conor Murray as his player, where he's got good skill, he's a good passer of the ball, good kicker of the ball. But I just think Tate offers a little bit more, and you got have a bit of X factor at test level, something that's a bit of a point of difference. So I'd like to see Tate play, and then probably have Jake on the bench. I think Whitey's a good guy to have in the squad because he's got a whole bunch of experience. But I'd like to see Tate getting picked moving forward. But the other thing with that though, mate, is it's like they seem to chop and change a lot. I'd like to just see someone get picked and just like, all right, you're my guy, and I'm moving forward with you.
I reckon Noah would like that as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, not only they changed the 9 quite a lot, they also changed the 10. Who do you see? Like, who would you like to see partner with Tate at 9 in the 10 jersey?
Oh, mate, I've been pretty critical of him, but I think, mate, I'd probably back Noah. I just think he's the upside that he has. You know, having played a whole bunch of tests now, you can sort of build from that foundation. Like, I still think guys like Quaid and Bernard could play at test level for sure.
Yep.
Like, especially someone like Nardi. You know, I think the last time both him and Quaid played, I thought they played, you know, really well. And Nardi's obviously been a part of a successful program up here at Kubota. They won the championship the last couple of years. So both those guys. But in terms of who Joe's got there, I'd like to see Noel probably, you know, like get given the job and, you know, Joe sort of sit them down and say, this is your team. I'm going to pick you. I'm going to back you moving forward, and just allow to build some cohesion around that his 9 and his 10.
So he's kind of answered your question anyway, Drew.
Yeah.
Start one, bench one, drop one.
Yep.
Well, maybe you like your anime and your cartoons, Willie?
Nah, not really.
Well, you used to. You used to. Like, as a little fellow, I remember watching you when we'd all head out. You'd be watching cartoons. Is there a cartoon character that really turned you on back in the day?
Mate, this is the bullying coming back again. Jesus.
No.
He's actually genuinely interested.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
interested.
put you in touch with our HR department. It's actually Gits, so that's awkward.
But is there anyone that turned you on? So, to give a bit of context, Swoop, who did you like?
Jasmine
out of Aladdin.
Yeah.
Oh, Pocahontas.
Yeah, same. That's mine, Willie.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Wow. Brown women.
Yeah. I like it.
Okay.
You mean Brad?
You'd be the same, wouldn't you, Gits?
Well, no, I went with April.
Yeah, completely opposite you are.
From Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but
that's complete opposite to what you've
yeah,
got.
but I was in Queanbeyan, like that was kind of the thing back then.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
What
didn't
was
care what I
So
liked.
what was the thing back, like,
April. Like everyone
I
in
thought
Queanbeyan
you
was just
meant-
talking about it. They
Yeah,
said
right.
April. How good's April? I said, yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
who did they
that's
cast
disappointing.
in the real movie as April? Was she, do you remember?
The
Yeah.
recent one was Megan Fox.
She's not a redhead.
Oh, but
Well,
you can just dye it, mate.
yeah.
Good point. All right, Will, mate, Northern Hemisphere rugby.
Yep.
Scrum halves, obviously they play a huge role. How do you change your game from playing down here and you got to go up there? Is it 1,000 box kicks? What are you trying to do?
Mate, it probably is. I remember when I went to France, I had to learn how to box kick. I think before when I went over there, I couldn't box kick to save myself. So they Northern Hemisphere rugby, like in terms of test footy, but also club footy, they're more closely aligned than Super Rugby is to playing for the Wallabies, I think. They play more territory possession-based game. They like playing field position. They take the points. I think whereas when I was playing Super's all about just going out there and expressing yourself. Just
No.
I remember thinking about Super Rugby as just being not. I don't mean this to be like think I'm the man or something, but it was like a playground. Like you just go out there and you just have fun. You just play. You'd express yourself. You back yourself. But then when I went and played over at Stade Francais, there was so much more pressure on you to perform in the sense that you were. Yeah, it just felt more like Test match footy. It was all about
you were
playing
also
territory, field
you were
position.
sent across on your own as well. You didn't have any other foreigners to lean on. So when you're that marquee, you found the similar pressure when you went to Bordeaux.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of stuck me out on the edge, which I didn't mind. I thoroughly enjoyed my experience, and also the football, particularly at Chaban de Mars. But you know, those winter games over December, January, where it's just pissing down pretty much every day, and you're out on the edge. You don't see much ball. You just kind of kick chase, which is fine. But also, then if you lose, either the president or the head coach is going to pull you up and team in and say, you know, why aren't you scoring tries? We paid you a lot of money to come over and score tries. And I was like, well, get me the fucking ball, son. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
it's like,
I do.
yeah.
What, Willie? Obviously, now that you're playing in Japan, you don't get opportunities for tours like the Wallabies are about to embark on. Like, what do you sort of miss about sort of those long tours to the UK and Europe, just to 4, 5, 6 weeks away with the guys, and obviously there to work, but also you get a bit of time away from footy as well.
Mate, they were the best. I remember my favourite tour of all time was my first one, that's 2009 Spring Tour. I think it's just you get to travel and you get to spend quality time with the boys, and yeah, like mate, you have a few beers, your midweek beers, your beers after the game, but you just the banter. Like it's different when you're on tour as opposed to when you're say playing in your home country. You just I don't know, you feel like a different sense of freedom. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I do miss that. Like, I think being a bit older, I don't miss the flights and the travel and stuff like that, but you do miss that that sense of freedom and the banter and everything. Yeah, that's definitely the stuff I miss.
Well, Willie, believe it or not, we're about to do a KOKO tour. Well, if you get a chance, I don't know how busy your schedule in Japan is at the moment, but you should head across for our live shows that are taking place in the, UK and Ireland. Boys, it's all thanks to Mixer. You can download the tour, download the app to earn points at your favourite bars, venues, etc. You also, if you download it, you get a free pint of Stone and Wood Pacific Ale when you buy a ticket to our show. Now, we've sold out every show except for, correct me if I'm wrong, Ollie, Cardiff, and the second London show.
Okay,
Oh,
so we've got a bit of work to
Cardiff.
do.
Oh,
So
I
how
would
you
have
go?
thought we were hitting Cardiff. That upsets me. Anyway.
Go to kickoffsandkickons.com to get your tickets. Also, we're doing one for the WRU at the game at Principality when Wales takes on Australia, so you can get your tickets at Kickoffs and Kick-Ons for that as well. Also, just a reminder, we're going to the Dubai Sevens, and if you're sick for KOKO, well, you can see KOKO with Stormzy. He's going to be live on the panel. Have we lined that up? I'm getting a thumbs up from Ol. Stormzy will be on the show.
And pickleball.
Sorry?
We'll be playing pickleball with him.
Pickle or
Is that fair dinkum?
pickle or paddle or something?
Paddle,
this fair
whatever.
dinkum?
Yeah, he loves it.
Joking.
I've got another question for Will. Or are you still?
No, I've done Marcel. Go to Will. Sorry, Will.
Well, I also do another start, bench, drop. So out of these three options, Matt Giddo, Adam Ashley Cooper, and Drew Mitchell, doesn't matter about positions, but you can only start one, you can only bench one, and you can only drop
I think
one.
you were going to go with the nines. Like,
Well, that's what I did for the current nines.
yeah,
Well,
I think you
mate,
go like
I'm
Breeze
going to start the bloke with the most caps on the couch, Adam Ashley
Whoa,
Cooper. I think
good on you, Smoot.
I think
and- I know
I
where
think
he's
he
heading.
deserves
Hurry
it.
up,
On your Mitch.
Willie.
You know I love you.
Gits, you played 100 tests, haven't you? Or close to?
Yeah, he's played
I've
100.
played 100, mate. You know, hurry up. Put me in the bin. Hurry up.
Go on, Midge.
I'm going to bench Drewy because...
There you go.
No, because I don't mean this to be disrespectful. I genuinely believe Drewy's criminally underrated because he's a jovial sort of a character, likes to have a good time, but fuck, he can play.
God, that was
Thanks,
disrespectful.
No, it wasn't disrespectful at all.
I'm absolutely cutting Gits because I would say if Gits doesn't start, he'll be too toxic for my group. So
You can't argue with logic.
No, not at all. Joseph Sua'ali'i. Now, we had a big debate last week here, Willie. I know you watched the show. Just as you're handing this beer over, let me do another little plug. Easy Times Brewing Co.
Oh, geez, you're on the
Easy
plug
drinking
I
today.
got
every
the
time.
job. We've got to pay for this show, mate. I know.
Yeah,
It feels
easy
like a lot,
drinking
but
every
this
time
is how
it
we
is.
exist. Easy drinking, easy times.
Every time. Yeah.
It's a wonderful
Edit.
beer. Make sure you do it. Sorry, say that again.
Edit. Easy drinking every time.
Joseph Sua'ali'i. We had a big debate here last week. It got a bit heated, and it continued down into the car park. And then they had a punch on. I had to break them apart. Ollie caught one, just a stray one in the face. Doesn't matter. Basically, Drew believes he should start at 13. Swoop is putting him on the edge. He's 14 or 11.
And working 2:13.
Working 2:13.
Hang
But
on,
this is
you
for the
can't just let Prof throw it up there, son.
Sorry.
You know what I mean?
Gits is starting him on the pine, bringing him on with how long to go? 20 to go?
Depends how the game's going.
Okay. Who do you think has the right approach to our $9 million man? 8, 10? 10?
He
10?
is.
Is he?
I would start him on the wing, and then I would actually eventually move him to fullback. I think from an athletic perspective, he just reminds me so much of Izzy. And so if you allow him to sort of transition into the game on the wing, which is a little bit easier, he can find his feet a bit. But then ultimately someone like him, I would just like him touching the ball as much as he possibly could in different parts of the field. I think if you put him at 13, like he's a big boy, he can run good lines and he'll be effective. But I think much like Izzy at fullback, he can just pop in wherever he wants and find the ball and receive the ball how he wants in a bit more space with a bit more time.
You're not worried about the
I-
kick space there on the wing. You start him on the wing. You leave him righty all on his
Especially
own
in the
there.
UK,
In the UK.
Well, you'd back the guys around him to help him, I reckon. Like your Tom Wrights and your Callaways. And the other thing is he's not like he played rugby as a kid growing up,
Yeah.
and he's only been out of rugby for a couple of years. So I don't think it'd be that foreign to him. Whereas Izzy was an out and out rugby league player, so that was a difficult transition and took a little bit longer. But I reckon he'll settle a little bit quicker. And then I'd eventually like to move him to fullback.
And
But
I
then
saw Hunter Paisami, he's done his calf and he's not touring. Do you throw Samu straight in at 12 there?
Oh man, what about yourself? You're still playing, aren't you?
Look, I've
Get you out
committed to the pod. Like we can't be doing that.
No, I would, but my only concern with Samu is just his fitness because he I think I read somewhere that he didn't want to join the Wallabies for the rugby championship because of his fitness. So he spent time here, but then he's only played one game, I think, over in Japan, and it was a trial game for D-Rocks. And
Since
I think
May.
that was
whether or not
against
that gets
Suntory
you-
maybe, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
But so whether or not that gets you ready to play Test rugby against England at Twickenham, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he's experienced, he's been around a lot, but my only concern would be, is he match fit? But then the other question is if you don't play him, who else?
Yeah.
I'd back him to go in there perform, so I'd probably chuck him in at 12, yeah.
Now, Willie, before we let you go, we have promised an extensive preview of every single game this weekend. I'm hoping you can hang around for the next 2.5 hours. We're going to go through them. Let's do England v the Wallabies, though. Obviously, Twickenham, you boys have said it's your grand final. You
Yep.
said there's nothing better than running out there, 80,000 English fans screaming at you. Last time they played England, they won 21-17. That was at the SCG last year. We've obviously seen what they did against the All Blacks for the last, 6 months. Who would like to swoop? Can the Aussies beat England? And if so, how do they do it?
I think how they do it is obviously what we've just spoken about. Like the positional game or the tactical kicking game needs to be very accurate. And what we haven't seen this season off the back of those kicks is just really good kind of contestable or good chasing to make those that aerial game a little bit more competitive, more contestable. I think they would have addressed that in the lead up and heading over. But I think if we can get our positional play right, our kicking right, being accurate, and also moving a little bit more to set piece, like if we go back and look at the last couple of games, we've actually been quite deadly off set piece. So that's a strength of ours at the moment. How we beat them is just by holding the ball, like being a little bit more patient. Willie touched on it a little bit earlier before around that attacking ruck detail. They're focusing on that, but also are they kind of going to the extra detail around training, in and around training with just simple skills. If we can hold on the ball and build phase, build continuity, and get the ball to edge, just eyes up football. There are a couple of screen grabs you could have made or taken over the last couple of games where their eyes just are a little in. If they get their eyes up and having the courage to put their hand up and say, get me the ball with whatever communication structure is needed, but get the ball to the edge. We've got some really good athletes in that team. We've got to be able to use that.
Yeah.
But it's sorry, Drew. It's a cracking game. The boys are always up against the Poms at Twickenham. It'll be a 2 or 3 o'clock kickoff. 3 o'clock kickoff, like perfect time. You kind of just get up into your process, get there, get going, and to kick off a tour with a win. I mean, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge game. I think it all starts up front, right? Like if you've got the Alan Alatoas or Taniela, Angus Bell, I think has been in tremendous form this year. But I think one area that we've been an area that we could get better at this year is our defensive maul. And we're going to see that with England. And I think maybe the inclusion of Will Skelton could really help that. Willie, if you've seen what Big Willie's been doing up there in the north, and what he's been able to do at test level is sort of swim through that defensive maul and go through the middle, and his big arms just like stopping that ball. And I think he'll be a crucial sort of inclusion. Whether he goes straight into the starting team, who knows? But I think for someone like Will Skelton, you've just got to start him and then go until he gasses. He's been playing big minutes for La Rochelle, so I don't see why there'd be any reason. He's match fit, all the rest of it. But I think it's got to start up front. We do have some great athletes, but you're not going to see them unless we get parity, at least parity up front. And that breakdown with Curry and Earls and those guys for England are very good. So we've got to make sure the Fraser McWrights of the world and Harry Wilson, if he's at 8, Bobby Valentini, back-to-back John Eales medalists, they've got to be on point, because if they can free up a bit of a ball for whether it's Tate or Jake or whoever it is, then we can sort of start to see these players out wider in some space and with some opportunities they can create. But it's got to start up front.
I want to hear what.
Yeah, Willie, you thinking the same thing?
Well, my thing, having watched England play, was I reckon what we need to do is not get sucked into what England want us to do. And like to be clear, I reckon what they'll do is they won't play any footy in their half. They'll put the ball up in the air and put pressure on us, and then they'll expect us to play from the wrong parts of the field and then capitalise on that, whether it's through penalties or whatever, take the 3 points, go to the sideline, go for more, things like that. I reckon we've got to be real disciplined to make sure that we don't play at the wrong ends of the field. Don't be afraid to get stuck in a kick battle with them. And like Swoop was saying, with our contestable kicks, making sure that they're on the money, good kick chase, good pressure, and don't be afraid to get stuck in that arm wrestle. And then I think off the back of that, just not being afraid to pull the trigger. I think what we don't want to do is get stuck in that physical battle with them where we're playing those pods up too frequently. Because if we're going to do that, I don't think we give ourselves a chance. It's about not being afraid to pull the trigger, play the ball at the back, get the ball to the edge, move them around, play with a bit of pace, play with a bit of speed. I reckon if we can do that, I reckon we're a genuine chance. That's how I sort of see us having the opportunity to get a win.
Yeah, I tell you what England do really well is like that first 20 minutes is that zero ruck policy. Mm-hmm. When they just kind of don't really contest the breakdown, they get 15 men back on their feet and they just suffocate attacking teams. And then for us who, if we at the moment, there's like a bit of a struggle to kind of recognise that and provide those feedback loops with how England would be defending, and then just play. Don't be afraid to go into a kick battle. Don't be afraid to play position, because if they are 15 men on feet and we're just kind of going through our shape and just running into walls and walls, you kind of force then to say, okay, well, how do we change? How do we adapt? Do we play a little bit deeper in our field, which is, obviously risky at turning it over in the wrong areas of the field. But then, how do you, are those conversations going to happen around, okay, let's just turn them around? Yeah. Because there's probably a mark in the game where they go, right, zero rucks off. Let's actually start contest where there might be a little bit more space around.
Yeah, but the other side of that is when they get more people on their feet, they put more people in the backfield. It's harder to find space, and then we get in a kick battle with a team that are so fucking well versed at a kick battles. Like even maybe like a pick and drive, like a series. It doesn't matter where in the field, just to draw some in. I make them commit, and then off the back of that, maybe go to kick or whatever. But I think to Willie's point as well, like against the All Blacks, they scored one try and the rest were all penalties. So like it's really like discipline was is really crucial because they just go for penalties. Like they don't mind building a score through penalties, to suffocating you with territory, and then the moment you make a mistake or infringe, then they just build a score off that. So I think that's really important too.
Now, Willie, I'm conscious of the time here. You've done your time. And you survived. So we thank you so much. We'll let you go. Boys, have you got anything else for Willie before he goes?
No, just thanks, mate. You were amazing. Great beard too. I love it.
You're looking good, Willie. Can I ask you, mate, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you now?
36.
Jeez,
you look good.
He
for
looked
36.
every part of that the last time I saw him in
Really?
Japan. Oh, it was after their
Fuck off,
last
mate.
game.
Fuck off.
And he was limping up the stairs.
I disagree,
We were doing
I
this
reckon.
interview together, and I was like,
Mate,
he
you
said,
haven't
I'm
aged
still
a
gonna
bit,
keep
Willie.
playing. I was like, I think you should let it go, mate. But now he's running to 4:29, and I'm happy for him.
And also, I mean, are you all right about where the yen's at the moment? Like that
Oh,
exchange
that's
rate's a little horrible. You probably lost about 40% of your contracts.
Yeah, mate. The exchange rate's no fucking. I
Isn't
should've
it?
locked
What are you
something
going to
in.
do? You're going to hold? You holding?
Yeah, you got to
Probably-
stay.
Yeah, I'll hold. Hopefully, play for another 5 years, and then when it's all good, hand it all back. Then.
Get it all back
Yeah.
here.
Could you
All
get
right.
Willie
Yeah.
into the San Diego Legion? Could you send him to the MLR?
We've got a great halfback there. We've got a great
Mike
halfback.
Phillips.
But
Mike,
also-
you've got Mike Phillips there, haven't you? Best
Mike,
halfback you played against was you.
No, I wouldn't have Mike. I saw him in Dubai. He's out of shape.
That still gets me that he says you were the best halfback he played against.
Oh, mate, he's an honest fella. What do you want me to say?
But Darcy Breen's probably taken up the cap as well, is he? Like,
Well,
he
that's
just
the other
signed. He
thing,
re-signed.
Yeah,
Darcy.
re-signed. I think he's captain of the whole MLR.
Is he?
Yes.
Very exciting. Hey, Will, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, on you, Mitch.
Thanks, Willie.
Cheers, Sanchez.
Thanks, guys.
I will chat
Appreciate
soon.
it, guys. Thank you.
Love you.
Gentlemen, I know hey, there you go, Will Genia.
Yeah, good, isn't he?
He's good. What's his service like? Gets you outside him. For a
Nah,
fair
he
bit?
was good.
Good service. He's got a great pass.
Yeah, but even I reckon just his feel for the game was
Yeah.
what was good. So if they were spaced quite wide around the ruck, he would threaten them there, which then just opens up more time and space for myself as a 10.
Why is he not still playing for the Wallabies?
Well,
Why are
his knee was pretty bad when I saw it
Okay.
a year ago walking up the stairs. No, I think he's probably done it all, competed in all the games. Obviously, he didn't win a World Cup. None of us did, but he's kind of done it all, I think, and he's pretty happy in Japan. Half a season.
But don't you think for a national side, it should just be the best 23 players? Doesn't matter the age, doesn't matter where they're playing, doesn't matter anything.
Well, I'm sure he actually feels
Andrew,
like...
there's a
Yeah,
Andrew's
but-
joined. Andrew, we're recording right now, just so you know.
I'm sure he feels, though, like Willie probably feels that he's always adding to a team.
Yeah.
But it gets to a point when there's a big difference between playing well in top league in Japan and actually making a difference and competing in...
That's what I wanted
the
to
world
say.
stage
There's
as well.
a difference between best performance and then also just best durability. Like, I feel like half the battle with Test match footy is getting back onto the park.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Especially
a
in these
brutal
end-of-season
game.
tours.
Yeah.
4 tests in 4 weeks, and at the end of a long season, tough footy.
All right, well, there are some very spectacular games, as we said this weekend. What about this one, boys? Ireland versus the All Blacks.
Oh, wow.
Spicy.
Goodness me.
Blockbuster.
Friday night.
Yeah,
at
Friday
the
Night
Viva-
Lights. That's interesting.
Love it.
Yeah,
At
I
Viva
do
Stadium.
too.
We all remember the Rugby World Cup quarterfinal when the Kiwis broke the hearts of the Irish. 28-24, they got it done. The Irish, they just beat South Africa, was their last hit out.
Yep.
Which I don't know if you heard this, they won the World Cup, South Africa. Yep. So, what happens there on Friday night? Who wants to go?
Well, I think 2 crucial outs for the All Blacks, Cody Taylor and Beauden Barrett. So they're not going to be playing this weekend. That's pretty big because outside of Cody Taylor, they've got Asafa Omua and I think Ricky Riccatelli's not even on tour, so I don't even know who. I think it's George Bell or someone. Yeah, someone like that. You know, like the depth in their hooking areas isn't as strong. In saying that, though, Ireland also missing their first 2 starting hookers. But I don't know. I just think from the back of the weekend's game, they got a bit of momentum. Like we said, kick off your tour with a big win at Twickenham. Their tails be up. Then they'd likely go back to Mackenzie at 10, you'd imagine, now that Bowden's not available.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the way to go. It all depends on how Ireland can gel and how long they've had together. They've got a really good system that they have in Ireland where they can pull them out and train and get them up to speed. So if they start well, I back them to put up a pretty good performance.
Well, this autumn international, it's almost the flip side to what we saw in July. So in July, all the Northern Hemisphere teams came down off the back of a Six Nations, so they'd had time and play and games together. They come down to play away against teams that were starting their international season, whereas now it's the opposite because our guys in Southern Hemisphere are coming off the back of rugby championships, so they play games, whereas the Northern Hemisphere haven't been playing since July. So
It was something that Borthwick he
yeah.
highlighted in his press
So
conference.
it's
that they
basically
played
just the flip side
7
to
in
the
a row,
July
yeah.
series, right? So they're playing away, but they've been playing. So there's upside and downside for both. But I don't know. I just think it's going to be like breakdown. I think is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Artie Savia, Sam Kane, Wallace Atiti, up against the guys in the emerald green. I think that's probably where the game's going to be won and lost. Who gets dominance at the breakdown?
Is our boy Mac Hansen a chance of getting a run? Do we know? Is he Mac Hansen?
I think he'd be in the squad. But I think the guys that did the job on the end of season tour, I think Andy Farrell seems like a pretty loyal coach, and if you've got no reason to not be selected, I reckon he'll probably stick with them and maybe put Mac on the pine potentially.
No, Andy Farrell's not coaching on at the moment, is he? Hasn't he moved on to Lions? No. Didn't I read somewhere?
He is the Lions coach.
Yeah,
but is somebody else in
next
charge
year, I
of
don't think he
Ireland
can.
at the moment, or have I got that way off? Next year. Apologies. We will definitely leave that in because I know fuck all. So I haven't let you have your say. I feel like you're leaning towards the All Blacks. I feel like you might be.
No, I
leaning
think it's going to
towards
be a fucking great test match. I don't know who I'm leaning towards.
No.
I'm genuinely getting splinters because I'm on the fence on this one.
It'll be toy.
It will be toy.
I mean, just Ireland because they're so clinical, right? And the All Blacks have beat them at the death the last couple of years. There was a game prior to the World Cup over there too where the All Blacks stole it right at the end. But the All Blacks are going with a little bit of form and they're still hungry to improve. They're still under a little bit of pressure. So there's going to be the desperation and the urgency. I mean, it's a test match, right? You're going to go out there and do everything you can to win, but the limited prep that Ireland have, I still don't think that's going to be an issue because of just how accurate they are, how aligned those teams are in the domestic competition to, the Irish system. And, they're just playing class rugby.
I feel like every time we sort of start to talk about the game and how we see it playing out, I almost start to make a case for New Zealand, but then bring up a point and start making a case for Ireland. You're kind of swinging back and forth. The more I talk out aloud, the more I'm sort of jumping between both, which is great. It's going to be set up for a huge test match.
I'm going to ask for a definitive answer though. So who would like to go first? Swoop. What's the score? Who wins?
I'm going ABs.
Yeah.
By 3.
Ooh.
I'm going Ireland by 2.
Ooh.
Draw.
Wow.
That's not definitive.
What do you reckon?
Yes, it is.
Well, it is definitive. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Odds on that.
I don't know, but I'm going to check them as soon as we leave.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Italy, Argentina. The Italian side on the rise, as we saw in the Six Nations. Argentina, they had quite the outing in the Rugby Championship, the best they've ever done. That's at Stadio Friuli. I hope I said that right.
Free Willy.
Stadio Friuli. On Saturday, last time they played Argentina, they defeated Italy 37-16, but it was in Treviso, so
Oh, yeah.
I'm conscious of the time here. We might race through this.
Yeah, Argentina. I just think the cohesion from throughout the year, some good performances. I think they'll be too strong for a fresh Italian team.
Yeah, I agree. I think Argentina will win. I think they've just got momentum, a bit of confidence in their group. Not just confidence in the fact that they've won, but the manner in which they've won those games and the teams in which they went against.
Yeah, I can't add any more. Argentina.
Okay. The French take on Japan. We just saw what the All Blacks did to Japan, but Eddie said Japan's moments away from being the best side in the world. Last time they played, France defeated Japan 35-17 in Paris.
Yeah, I don't think that moment's going to be this weekend. I think France will do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Viva.
Wow. Wales, Fiji. Fiji should have their best
Yeah, they
players
will,
back.
yeah.
So very different looking side. Wales, they're at Principality Stadium. Very interesting for us Wallaby fans to see their hit out before they get into it. Last time they played was in the World Cup stage. So if you remember, you probably don't, but they're in the same group as us. Wales defeated Fiji 32-26 in Marseille. Gits,
Yep.
Wales or Fiji?
I think the Fijians will have a lot of confidence with their players coming back. Wales they're still a really young squad. I think out of all the teams that we're facing, they're probably going to be the weakest ones that we'll come up against. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I think it could be because I'm wearing black and white. I'm going with the Bull of Anakas, I think, this weekend.
I'm going with them as well. Yeah, I think Fiji will win.
I'm going the boys from the Valleys.
Okay.
One, because our show wasn't sold out, so we've got to give them a little bit of love.
Yeah,
Hopefully
fair
that
play.
kind of gets a little bit of a
Yeah, nice.
ticket rise. But no, I honestly think they will. I like the fact that they're young. It's their first game at home. The roof will be closed. They want to put on a good performance in front of their home crowd. Yeah. Hungry Welsh.
Tell you what, though, I think Fiji, they just go and try and absolutely bend some blokes in half. Like,
Which they do.
Which they
did
can.
you see a couple of those shots on the weekend
Yeah.
against Scotland? Like, they were icing blokes, folding them like camp chairs, like you used to do.
Were you
What? Fold like a camp chair?
No, like you used to fold others like camp chairs, you know?
Were you thinking about that before you'd run out against Fiji? Were you thinking some bloke is just going to end
Yeah,
me?
Got to
Yeah.
skewer me.
You
Yeah.
do.
100%.
You can't not think about it.
Yeah.
They are
Oh.
granite.
Yeah.
Those blokes. Like even
Horrible.
walking. Where was I? Where was I? What?
That
Not,
shot on the on the edge.
Oh, mate, you could name
Yeah.
any one of them that are playing there, they'd fold me in half.
Oh yeah. Oh, like origami, you would. you show no resistance.
I was going to say I was at Castaway a couple of months ago, and on family suite was at Castaway, and even shaking hands with the guys who just work behind the bar. He's like, "Hey, you bastard!" And they go, and all he's doing is serving Mai Tais. You think they're born hard, aren't they?
Hard, son.
They're just it's so deceiving because they're so nice, so friendly,
what it is,
and then
mate.
they
It's
just
you can't
fold
trust
you.
them.
What
Yeah.
happens once they get over that white line? They just go,
Mate, they
Yeah.
smoke you and then turn up, like get back up, and they got the biggest smile, and you're like,
Yeah.
I know, right? They try to get me involved in this little island game they do on Saturdays. I said, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Go away.
Tell us more about that. What was
Oh,
that
the little
game?
rugby, little.
yeah, they play rugby on
They
the
play rugby.
Okay, right, that sort of game. Okay, cool. Scotland v South Africa. That's also, that's, goodness me. There are some big games this weekend. Murrayfield on Sunday. Last time they played, the Box defeated Scotland 18-3 in the Rugby World Cup, as you remember. But that Scottish side, they've got plenty of firepower across the park. They are taking on the world champs. Who would like to go first?
Yeah, I think this will be a lot tighter than people suspect. I'm tipping South Africa. I think it's only going to be a tight one, like 18-16, something like that.
Oh, that is tight.
Yeah.
I think South Africa will get it done, but much like Matt's saying, it'll be tight. I think Scotland they're going to be quite formidable throughout this sort of autumn internationals, but I just think this one's probably a little bit beyond.
They're that next level.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it's too far beyond. I think the
No, I didn't
conditions
say
are
that,
going to
mate.
be.
I said it was tight.
Well, okay.
Don't put fucking words in my mouth.
there is tension between you two.
Yeah.
I-
Do you want to go back
Sexual
down the car
tension.
park again? Oh, plenty of room in the back seat. So. Like I said, right, it's not beyond. I think the conditions are going to be dog shit,
Yeah.
and South Africa are just not going to like it.
Yep.
And they're going to be like, oh, let you guys have it. I think the Scots are going to take it, in a tight match.
So your words, South Africa going to say.
Don't put words in
let
my
you guys
mouth,
have
mate.
it.
Don't put words in my
Sounds
mouth.
like South Africa, yeah.
Yeah, look, I just think that the Scots are just there. They're building.
Hey.
Okay.
I was in Edinburgh about 2 weeks ago, and you are bang on with the weather being fucked.
Yeah.
Carrying a 3-year-old around in that. That was awesome.
You have a 3-year-old, do you?
Eh?
Is it a local or the one from back here?
Yeah, I guess I've got 2 3-year-olds. That's a good point. Thank you, mate. All right, that's the very in-depth preview that we've done. Match fit. We love this segment. Let's do it. Yes, it is the people at Maya that are kind enough to bring you this episode every week, and also kind enough to kit us out in our summer gear. Summer is here. It has sprung, as you said last week. Gits, and we are wearing some very fancy outfits here. Our personal stylist and shopper Dale took us through.
Is
Told
amazing.
us what we needed.
Yep.
And now,
And what suits us?
absolutely.
Like what
It's
you're wearing.
Yeah. He said,
That
Prof,
suits you.
this is you. I picked this out for you
Why
months
don't you
ago.
just get out of the chair and give
You
us
want
a
me to
bit
go
of a
first?
rundown?
Here we
go.
Yeah, I didn't
So-
know it was matchy
Wow,
match
it's a
fit.
set.
It is a set. I love. This is Kenji.
It certainly is.
And it's flora and fauna, which I've always said I'm both.
What's your favourite item on that arrangement you got there?
The snake right there. See that?
Yeah, right.
That's a cobra. Can you see it just here? That's a
Yeah, I like it.
that's a
Yeah.
cobra or a black adult.
I-
And
Or
where you reckon you're wearing that?
Personally, I like the mushrooms, but
the mushrooms
Yeah.
are good. I'd wear it on a prison visit.
Yes.
Let's
Absolutely.
say somebody's on death row.
Yes.
I'm popping in.
Yep.
This would cheer them up
It
Yeah,
certainly
before
would.
they get
I
the.
thought you were thinking, is it
conjugal.
Yeah.
Conjugal.
Is it conjugal?
Oh,
where you
yeah,
go
I
in
could wear
and,
it on that. That'll get them in the mood.
I think so.
And it's available at
Yeah.
Myer. Who would like to go next? Swoop.
Sure.
That's powerful shirt, Swoop.
Thanks, mate. Yeah. Yeah, look, powerful shirt for a powerful bloke. It's a Kenji number.
Love it.
I'm not too sure where the inspiration comes from when they design this, but I love it. Kenji silky shirt with green sleeves just to break it up.
Well, green back.
Yeah, did
You
you
like
know
the green
it's
back?
on the back? Yeah, there you go.
Oh, it's like a high five.
You like that?
Look at that.
I didn't even know what was on the back, but I'm happy about that. And some Kenji light pastel, pinky, purpley, lightweight. These are dry anyway.
Comfy,
Yeah.
mate.
Jeez, they are. They're quick.
I actually dribbled on the way out there. It's already gone. And then
The
I've gone
veterans medallion.
for the black business socks, and that's a BLACK
I love
BL
it.
BLAQ.
sock.
Where would you wear it, Swoop?
Audiology appointment?
Yeah.
Maybe skincare clinic.
Yeah.
Get your wheels waxed. X-rays. Brighten up the day in there. It's a little dark.
Yeah.
You tell me where I'd wear it.
I reckon temp in bowling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I'm straight down the line. I'm not even a spin. See the wrist though.
Yeah.
I want to do the thing.
You're
but
very good with the wrist.
straight. Yeah.
Would you like to go next?
Yeah,
Drew?
look,
Let's
I've gone a little bit
pace through
sort
this.
of, what do you say, basic in terms of palette. Bit of linen pant. These are amazing. I know you all want to jump in them.
Oh wow.
But,
the thick linen too, but still so comfy.
Yeah, they look cozy.
these are fantastic. This is a Maddox top. I mean, again, for those at home, you wouldn't be able to feel it, but actually the girls from Budgy came in and went, geez, your shirt feels fantastic.
What is that
It's
texture on
Maddox.
that?
I don't know what the texture is, but it's, for those that are...
Seersucker.
For those that are tactile, you'll love this. It's amazing. And I just wear it down in Bondi to the Diggers for the Melbourne Cup tomorrow because I'm not going to work.
Love it. Let's finish with you.
Yeah,
Gits.
finish with me. I have gone. You know the two teams that played in the Northern Hemisphere? What they got in common?
They wore white and black.
And that's what I've done. So I've gone with BLAQ is the brand. Shorts, all black, and then a black and white number. It feels almost like what do you call it there, Tommy? Saksura. Seersucker. It's a seersucker material. Feels good.
Looks
Feel
great.
good. Look good. And I would wear it, Prof, to Melbourne Cup. Go down to the pub with Drew.
You look great next to me.
Mate,
Yeah.
you all look fantastic. And thank you for playing Match Fit. There you go. Wonderful. Thank you to Myer. Gosh, they're a good sponsor. Can't wait for them next year.
Amazing.
Bigger and better.
Apparently, yeah.
Apparently, that's what I've heard.
They're going to throw more out.
Heard that. Hey, gosh, I've got written here conclusions and goodbyes. Surely not.
No.
Have we reached that time?
It's time to...
But didn't we have that show that was going to, in 2 weeks' time,
Did
in
you?
London?
What was that? Did you hear something
Well, I
about
got
a
a
show?
message about there's a sevens. Sevens. It's the theme of things we're going to do by sevens. Then London Sevens, they're having an event in a little under 2 weeks where on the Tuesday night we have a live event, fellas.
Do we?
Yes, we do.
They've got the little KOKO show in.
Yep, I've booked us in. So I don't know if you guys were free or not, but you're coming.
Well, all right. Fantastic. I love it.
I'd love to come.
Mate,
Yep.
you know there is a lot of people booking us because, as I say, good day and goodbye today. As I've mentioned, we are coming to Orange for our end of year finale for the big Christmas party.
Ooh.
It is going to be at a undisclosed location. Well, it's a pub in Orange, and it's to celebrate all things Christmas. Also, all things Australian barbecue. Saltbush is the style of the menu. Keep an eye out for the tickets. We're going to announce that closer to the date. I believe it is Wednesday the 11th. So if you are in and around the Orange area, which as we established, Parkes, Bathurst, Ballina last week, any of those three regions, then make sure, keep an eye out. We're coming to. And you know what? Why don't you buy a bloody farm while you're out there, mate?
I'll be doing my DD. I'm right into it at the moment.
Aren't you? You love DD.
Gentlemen, I think we've got everything. Ollie, can you give me... No, Ollie's giving me a frown. I've just... Oh, sorry. Yes, Ollie has just pointed out it. We do have the wonderful sponsor, Super Sizzler. It is time now for this.
Super Sizzler, thanks to Beefeater.
Yes, it is a massive thanks to Beefeater. Gentlemen, the Rugby... and also Appliances Online, who provided Beefeater. Goodness me. It is a big thanks to them for supporting the show. And this week for our Super Sizzler, I thought as a bit of a theme, we could pick people that went well at the Rugby Australia Awards.
Oh, okay.
Pause here.
I'll go first. I'll go with Bobby Valentini. Obviously, back-to-back John Hills medalist. So it speaks for itself. But he's already got a barbecue.
Does he?
Yeah, so he just said, we don't need to send him another one. Just keep it here.
Jeez, he's nice like that.
Lovely.
I didn't know there was a theme. I already had one locked in. Do you mind if I go a bit rogue?
Sure, go for it.
It's just for a bunch of rugby guys, ex-rugby guys, that got together to do something good. James Horwell, Rocket Rod Davies, and James Hansen, Chibba, the beast. They did the Noosa Triathlon on the weekend. Keeping fit. Chibba, the dugong, did the swim, 1.5K. James Horwell, 40K on the bike. It's not very aerodynamic, but he got that done. Then Rocket Rod Davies shuffled a long 10K to finish that off. And I just thought, good on him.
Yeah, good
Getting
on
together, winners of the 2011 Super Rugby for the Reds, getting together. And then, but they did say David Croft. Remember David Croft, the open side?
Yeah.
He almost beat them on his own.
You're kidding.
Those three did it together in a relay, and Crofty almost beat their time on his own. Good on them. They're going to get my beefeater.
Handsome guy, Crofty.
Are you sharing a Beefeater or are you going to send them one?
Well, they're going
good
to
look.
celebrate their achievement with a collective beefeater.
Good.
Have you got one for us?
I'm happy to go in theme. Maddie Levi. She did really well at the awards night. She had a cracking year. She got denied by Rugby League. I wouldn't let her go to Rugby League either. Keep her in the game. She's going to kill it. I mean, would she have a go at 15s?
Yeah.
She'd have to.
Yeah, I think
There is talk of that for the World Cup. Yeah.
She put a name down for it.
Matty Levi, I love it. Has she
Maddie
got a
Levi,
barbecue?
she probably has a couple,
Yeah,
but get her
I think
another
we
one.
have a couple. Very good. I'm gonna toss up two. Maya Stewart, who won the Women's Award at Rugby Australia. Rugby Australian Awards. And also Nathan Lawson, who won the Men's Sevens Award. Congratulations to both of them.
Henry?
Nathan.
On a wonderful
Henry Lawson
year.
was a poet.
That's
remember?
right. We discussed this.
Yeah.
I told you that.
No, you didn't.
He did. I was next to him when he was telling you.
Congratulations, Nathan. And there is a barbecue coming your way. That was Super Sizzler. Thank you to Beefeater. And that, gentlemen, I believe, is the show. Gets. Do you have to get on the road or something? Do you have to?
Look, you guys don't really think about my travel plans at all, so let's just keep
Don't
dragging
throw
it
me
out.
in that collective.
No,
I'm always conscious of it.
I'm cross-eyed. I'm touring a swoop.
Very, very good. That was the show. Please give us one, Drew.
Lovely. That was clean.
Yeah, that was that. That was really nice.
Oh, wow. That is the best video on YouTube. You know what you need to do now? You need to like and subscribe down there. Or if you want extra content, might be down there, you need to go up here or up here and get more of that gear. Thanks for supporting Kickoffs and Kick-Ons, and we will see you very soon.